Alright, we're here again with the Artisan thing. 2 more days of it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I really like this Avacyn creation, breaker thing, and I just kind of want to keep doing that. But instead of blue, with all the Talarian terrors and whatnot, we're playing like green for ramp spells, and I really like the Golgari Fine Broker Eldest Reborn kind of combo. I might actually, you know what? I'm gonna go down one of these and up one of these. I don't feel too confident about this card, not gonna lie, but I mean, it's an Eldrazi. That's kind of cool, I guess. Could be slightly too threat light, but if we're very consistently getting this into play, not simply just off of this, because we can ramp into it, I don't feel as bad about being as threat light. But we'll see. There's a lot of consistency in Assemble the Team. It's kind of crazy that this cost, I mean not cost 2, that it's an uncommon, but I guess it makes sense. Feels like a demonic tutor 99% of the time, though. This is colorless, right? So I'm going to have some wastes. We can find wastes off of this because there is now a snow-covered wastes, so that is really, really cool. Cultivate, because it's really good too, right? You could run a bunch of 1-mana elves, so like a bunch of 1s into a bunch of 3-mana ramp spells, and then skip your 4s, right? And it goes straight into 5. So like 1, 3, 5 would be the ideal thing, and you could probably do that rather consistently, but I don't mind playing it like this, and having some removal probably makes sense, right? So all of my removal does ramp me, which is really cool. So the ideal thing would be like something like this on turn 2, and then this on turn 3, right? Something like that, but I don't know. If we need more than just this for ramp on 2, there are mana rocks, which are totally reasonable to run, right? I don't like emergent sequence, or whatever it is. It's yeah, I don't like emergent sequence. I just don't like this card in any way. I have no respect for it. The land just usually dies, and it also... Yeah, that's really just it. The land dies, I just have no confidence here. I really just do not. So your options on 2 are pretty sparse when it comes to green, which is kind of funny because there's a ton of options on turn 1. But we'll see how it pans out. Maybe I don't feel bad about not always having this card, so... But again, just like last time, there's a good chance almost every single game, win or lose, I'll come in and change it around. Alright, let's start here. Ooh, no black mana. Oof. Not a single black source. This would be fine if it had a black source, I think. Alright. Away with you. Could probably get rid of one of these. Oh, jeez. More brony nonsense. No turn 1 play with an island. That's apparently a rarity. Okay, this could be a whole bunch of different stuff. That is completely fine. It's going to start being not fine in a second. There's not really anything to heist in my deck. Not really. That's a very strange card. It's a very strange card. Looks like they have colorless, though, so they could technically cast one of my things, but, I mean, again, it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, they got rid of their colorless land, so that's interesting. I guess I have to get a black source here. There's nothing to pick up, right? Yeah, there's nothing to pick up yet with this. Opponent got my one and only color. Pretty easy to kill it, though. It also gives me something to pick up with my Golgari nonsense thingy, which is pretty cool. Probably didn't want a second waste or third waste, so I really only need two. You should not have shown me your land. That doesn't... Shuffles their graveyard into their library. Okay, so my opponent could technically target themselves with that. Kind of doubt they will, but I mean, they could. I don't know what's going on right now. It looks like some kind of looping blue-black control deck, where like it just keeps looping its own deck and going over and over with stuff like this, but doesn't really answer enchantments too well. Ashiok? Okay, so yeah. Fortunately, we already had cast our tutor search card. This doesn't target planeswalkers, right? Nope. I think this is the first planeswalker I've ever seen. I'm not incentivized to play Magic, I don't think. My opponent probably needs to crack this Cranial Archive. They do not. Probably need to draw something, and they're not really giving themselves that chance. They could have an Edict in hand or something like that, but I kind of doubt that, honestly. Oh, that's a pretty good draw, actually. Yep. I will run it out. There's not much my opponent can do to stop it. Wow, they actually had an Edict. That's disgusting. Okay. Well, at least I put it in the graveyard so Eldritch Reborn can find it. I can target my own opponent with this if I, like, pick it up or whatever. Oh, they can shuffle my graveyard. No, they don't. They don't. They leave it in the graveyard with the Eldritch Reborn. They leave my Eldrazi sitting right there. Evolving Wilds. That's interesting. Ooh, they're gonna feel bad that they didn't hold on to the land, huh? Alright, back up to 20. I like this looping thing, but the problem is, unless you're drawing like a lot of cards, you're gonna just not be able to play Magic. Like, you can't loop your deck repeatedly in a blue-black control list like this, unless you go like completely bananas. And it's very hard to do that. There's nothing they could possibly heist here. That's a problem. Because I think this always has to be true colorless when you cast it. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. They also just did actually find something, so I was wrong. I can pick up my Eldest Reborn. Probably going to discard Death Sprout? I really don't know. Don't know what this turn is gonna look like here. So this is always happening. I guess because of this draw, I'm just gonna, yeah. All right, that worked out a lot. That worked out really nicely. Get this nonsense out of here. All right, well, we can just keep recurring answers and like questions for our opponent to answer. I feel like I shouldn't have to target that card. But I might have to, because I don't want them to repeatedly commit crime against me here. I won't find a land off this, but it probably doesn't matter. I don't think that matters. Okay, well, it's only Annihilator 1, which is kind of lame, but it is what it is. I'm going to hold on to the Fine Broker. They have answered all of my stuff so far. Ruin Crab? This mill package is wild. You don't even want to mill me with the Eldritch Reborns and stuff. Okay. Opponent is, doing some crazy stuff right now. They cannot find... there's still answers, actually. They can find answers here. I'm going to kill the thing that commits repeating crime. Oh, no, that doesn't even target. Never mind. The crab doesn't target me. Okay. Bonus deck is pretty cool. I don't know how much Annihilator 2 they can survive, though. Can start to rack up. I don't really want to pick up a binding here. Also, my opponent has Ashiok's in their deck. Okay, I don't know why they did all that. Yep, there's no way I don't get another one of these. Okay, no Shieldred's Edict, please. Come on. Come on. That's just... come on. Yay, dude. It's only... I only have 7 mana right now. That's just absolutely disgusting. Gotta be kidding me. Whatever, I have to pick it up so my opponent doesn't, like, do something insane against it. Okay. They target themselves. They could have targeted me to pick up the intimidation campaigns. And getting rid of my graveyard as well. Or they can just top deck the penultimate answer. But they cast it now. They should have waited. Well, no, there's no reason. It's an edict. They don't have a choice. Never mind. There's no... 4. Yep, I can cast this first. Alright. I mean, crazy game, but we can beat an edict. I'm not even sure what my opponent could draw to get out of this. That's certainly not it. This should be a desert that targets me, so they can pick these up and commit crimes. I like the list. This is kind of cool, but yeah, this should be a desert, and I think that cranial thing should have targeted me to pick these up. But it would actually probably still kind of be in this game if they did do that. Don't think there's any single draw they can have that survives next turn's attacks. So this is probably completely over. Don't think they can do anything. There's no single draw here. That certainly isn't it. A lot of cards left, but they kept shuffling in their stuff. Yeah, looping their deck and stuff. It's just really, really difficult to do that. Really, really difficult to pull that off. But, I mean, they were making a good effort. You know, it was a good effort there. The Shieldred's Edicts were kind of the only reason the game existed. And we never had, like, multiple creatures in play at one time. But also, I probably want more black sources. We have double black here quite a bit. Didn't think about that. We also don't necessarily need... I don't even know why I have this many wastes in the deck. I really only need 2 in play. And I have a fair amount of ways to find them, so... Okay. Okay. That's probably not a good sign. Okay. Could play one of these next turn, or this. This gives me black mana. Maybe that's slightly better here. Jeez, triple Stitcher Supplier. You got it. This does block. And I really don't care if my opponent Rites of Oblivions it, honestly. Yeah, let's just play one of these. I don't know. I kind of like it. It ramps me all the same. It's just like... If they Rite of Oblivion it, I don't know how I'm upset with that. Circuit Mender. Wow. Alright, so no lands. Do they swing to just mill themselves? Yes. Obviously, you can't afford to just let them go through for no reason. So far, I haven't seen too much that likes the milling. Okay. This into... Oh, nope, that's the last land I want. I think 2 swamps. I could play this, or I could play this. Well, I guess I also could play this, but we are getting kind of close to just dying. And I'd rather just have more on-the-ground blockers. This makes sense to me. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If one of these dies, I have the mana I need to cast this, right? This has to die, though. Exiling it doesn't count, which is very unfortunate. Yep. Really wish it was exiled. Xander's Wake. What a dumb card. What a dumb card, dude. Every time I see it, I'm like, why do you exist? Alright, play you. Death Sprout is viable. Eldest Reborn is interesting. I think Death Sprout's the way to go, because a ramp spell is just probably better. And that means I'm not casting anything else. Oh no, I don't have... Oh, I don't have the colors for it. Oh, I jacked it up. I jacked it up, dude. Whoops. I don't have the colors for the Death Sprout. Oh well. I mean, I can cast this next turn. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, but... I mean, I've seen half of my opponent's deck. But I haven't seen this yet. From your graveyard, put a counter on that. Sure. Okay, this is like a very honest deck. It's kind of funny. Can no longer swing with these 3/3s. Let's just gain a bunch of life here. But again, we're kind of in the market for a bunch of removal we just don't have access to right now. Hopefully they can't swing on the ground, but we are dying to the sky. And we're dying very quickly. This is kind of why I started with the 7/5 in my deck, because a bunch of flying is really the only thing that's been really killing me. And apparently this is no exception. So I can cast this and Death Sprout. I have to wipe out this thing and then Death Sprout their Knight. They looks like they have a 1-mana black spell that will just perfectly edict when I target something. Because of course. So there's no reason to play anything pre-combat. Or just like right now. Wow, I didn't expect... Oh, wait. They want to sacrifice. No, they didn't. So, no 1-mana... No 1-mana answer then. Okay, they didn't sack in with a block in response. Interesting. Sure. Guess that makes sense. That has Death Touch, so I can find answers here like removal spells. Can also just not swing with my 8/4 for a bit, which feels kind of bad. All right, well my opponent can technically gain life, but I'm still just going to block. They can Cling to Dust a creature, and that will gain life for the ghoul to come back. Okay. Oh, never mind. They just had enough anyways. Never mind. Alright, that's an interesting draw. What does that do? Actually, it doesn't really do anything right now, huh? Okay, I can't put a creature under this, but I can put like another binding. And that's probably fine. I could do a second one even. I probably have to... Yeah, we can just swing here, actually. This makes sense because I can pick it back up. This makes sense to me. it also, you know, it just gives me something to do. I could have swung with the 3-3, probably. But they're at 30. I'm not sure how, like, crazy that would wind up being in the long run. They have to eat a creature here, otherwise they don't get the triggers. Breathless Night is pretty scary. This is a cool card. I do have the answer to it. Well, I guess I technically don't have the answer to it next turn. I mean, you're just eating the... They're, like, really struggling with what to escape, and I don't know why. It's just... I don't really know if there's an assortment of cards that you could mess this up. Half your deck is in the graveyard. It doesn't matter. There you go. Figured it out. What do they ended up choosing? They choose a bunch of lands, sure. Min-maxy, but it's literally not going to matter in the long run. Alright, that was a very good draw. I don't want this to continue to exist, especially as the game stands right now, so I will deal with it right now. And I can probably swing with just this, but again, they're at 33. I highly doubt that matters. And let's go get maybe Eldest Reborn. Get a loop like that going is probably fine, right? I'm not opposed to that. We just get the Eldest Reborn Fine Broker loop going. I'm gonna chump one of these. Okay, they have 19 cards left. It is possible for them to deck out. Wouldn't be the first time I've seen that. They know about the binding. They don't know about the Eldest Reborn yet, but they do know about the binding. Okay. Always casting this. And I can just probably, again, I'm not sure I can even kill my opponent with damage by the time they would deck out. Seems a little difficult. Nice. Get Schmieded. Look at that. That was a crazy, crazy long game. Going down to 2 means the only way to get them is ramping, and that could be rough with this. But the only way to really cast this is usually to ramp it. And half the time I find it off of this. So I'm actually going to drop 2 of the wastes and maybe add 2 jungle hollows. Could drop another forest. Seems like double black on turn 3 has been a pain point. No, not the worst thing though. Okay, I need a black here. I'm not sure what this means. Sacrifice a creature. Okay. I'm gonna kill it now. Oh, I need double black. Excuse me. No, we already been through this. Need double black, so I'm not killing it. I will definitely trade with my card though, if they let me do that. Really need that second black source. Oh, short. Okay. So this, not sure what this is looking for other than a black source, kind of ugly. Could just get this. Does everything I want, right? Opponent really likes Golem in tempting the One Ring, I guess. Alright, Nazguls are pretty scary. Hopefully they don't have a way to like loop infinite Nazguls as this game proceeds, though. That would be unfortunate. Okay. So, let's see here. You and Deathsprout the Nazgul. I don't know if I have to block. Probably should. Like, I probably should just block. I don't know what else these are doing. So. Alright, I mean, sure. Yeah. It gives me things to do, I guess. I don't know what to get off of this. I really feel kind of concerned about getting one of these, but, like, maybe that's all I can do. It feels kind of insane to not get one here. I don't know. It could be a very bad thing to have taken that, but I did. Okay. Looks like I don't regret it quite yet. Let's get a gate. Looks like our opponent has nothing, but again, there's a bunch of Nazguls in their deck. Sure. They probably sack the army. Oh, no, they don't. Wow. Alright. Oh, that was a really good draw, I think. I think that was a good draw. Feel like it was. I'm gonna not crack this. I know I could use these to, like, cast something immediately here, but that's not very likely. Saga spam? Yeah, kinda, actually. This is Artisan, though, so it's like the Paradise format. I'm having a blast in this format. But yeah, it's kind of like Saga stuff. Alright, so yeah, we just start looping these. We can actually steal our opponent's creatures. It doesn't have to be mine. Okay, let's find a land of the untapped variety. Variata. Ooh, the Modern Age. Love it. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off now. Just gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, makes me think it's maybe not a control deck then, because they did what they did. I almost want to just run this out right now, but probably... Alright, well now I kind of really do want to run this out, and I think I will. If they didn't play a creature, I probably wouldn't. They get a treasure immediately, but so far I haven't been too concerned with what's happening. Famous last words. Man, discover caves, big ward thingies. Okay, incubate tokens, sure. Gorger. Oh, I like this deck. I like what is happening right now. This is neat. Outlast. That puts counters on it, right? Yep. Make them discard. 1, 2, 3. Could cast this and then use the spawn token. Actually, using the spawn tokens has been kind of useful. Just gonna take out their thing there. That card is obviously a problem. Tithing Blade. Alright, neat, neat. I'm not running that. I almost want to, but nah, we're just not going to. Okay, we have answers to flyers. My opponent was willing to kill my creature before this Eldritch Reborn went off, too, which is interesting. But I'll probably end up stealing their thingy. Because it makes me have a threat that... Oh, right. They have Tellurian too. Oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? Get out of here. What am I talking about? Everything I said is a lie. Alright. We have the word 3. My opponent cannot target this for 10 years. They have edicts, so I don't really ever want to get rid of my spawn. Alright, there's an edict. Hopefully there isn't a second one. That would be kind of devastating. Does not look like it. Alright. We are winning this race. Until the point in which we no longer are. Casual gain 10. Another card that's very difficult to deal with outside of edicts, and 2 have already been played. Okay. Opponent is not dead. Do we outlast again? Wonder if they can afford to. Opponent probably doesn't want to. Yeah, alright. So 1, 2. Let's do this. I don't know what pre-combat... Yeah, we're just gonna send it. Annihilator 2 is just, like, pretty good here, right? I mean, it's almost usually always good, but... They can take this and go to 1. They probably will, you know. Let me just run this out. They lose the 2-3. Oh, wow, they get rid of that one, huh? I feel like the other one was slightly better. Nice. That was a cool... I like this deck. It was kind of cool. I really like what this... It's like a... You know, you just sit there, pay 2 mana every turn, and slowly it becomes a problem. There is a different one of this that can be done at instant speed, and it steals a life from your opponent. It's a 1 mana 0/3, and then 2 mana steal a life. Tap it. That one's probably better, because as we saw here, this one didn't get to do anything. Like, it getting counters is not the same as stealing life, especially with, like, red decks looming around. Ooh, alright. A little black-green off, maybe. A lot of good hits here, a lot of bad hits, a lot of moderate hits. I actually don't even know what the right take is. I have something to do next turn. I think, honestly, a ramp spell is fine here. Yeah, I think Cultivate's fine. That way I'm just, like, not stumbling. I could have just simply gotten a land and then just used these to ramp, right? Like, I could have just found a land, turn 3 this, turn 4 this. I think that was viable as well. Probably in hindsight might have been the better of the choice. Tokens have tap for any color. Let's play this first. That's funny. Okay, what does this do? Leave your graveyard, make a sapling, or plant. And then each plant gets a plant. Counter plant. Plant, plant, plant. So, mana dorks and plants. And tokens, okay. I assume they make tokens and they don't necessarily, like, do the bottom part of this. Oh, wow, Terra Sunder. Wow, alright, fair enough. I don't believe they see this card ever. I don't think they ever get to see this card. But maybe they do. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll keep the board empty. I'm not threatened by this roots yet. This is a terrible thing to Terra Sunder, so if they do have one, they probably don't want to send it. I mean, it stops 1 land, but, like, you'd probably prefer to use it on something else. Which works out for me. Ooh, that's almost a broker, but not quite. So, I probably can get a gate here. And I kind of want to blow this up. Opponent has mana, though. I think it's better to just ramp now. That's probably just better here, yeah. Feels better. Edicting a token doesn't make sense, and I can play this next turn on whatever they may or may not be ramping into. Creature leaves your graveyard. Okay. They are not using the mana on their mana dork. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Could just send this. Don't see how I... Yeah, this has just got to be the right thing, right? They can't really target it with Terra Sunder. Not sure what they could do here. Oh, no Shieldred Edict. Lucky us. Eldest Reborn could exist. Oh, no, doesn't look like it exists. It'd be on theme with this deck. Gloom Shrieker's kind of neat. I wish this didn't exile, then it'd just be like a 3-mana broker. Kind of cool, I guess. Surveil 2, and then do stuff. Alright. Skyfisher Spider. Enters the battlefield, sack a creature, destroy target non-land permanent. This can kill my thing. Alright, they're doing a good job at making it so they can do a massive favorable trade here, and they probably will, so they don't die. That has Menace, that has Menace. I can play Eldritch Reborn pre-combat, or I can double up on these. Works too, I guess. Kill this. That way they can't block and trade. Not sure they would. It is 4 creatures, but now they cannot. Wow. Okay. Okay, yeah. I would never block here. That token has to be valuable. So I'll blow it up. Oh, actually, I can just blow up the roots, actually. What am I talking about? That way they just don't tap for mana. Yeah, it's just better. Okay, never mind. Alright, silly me. Thought I had answers. I do not. Not offering a trade, which means another Annihilator trigger, is kind of insane for them to be willing to just sit there and eat. It's kind of nuts. I feel like I am at this point really just trying to trade this off the board, and opponent just didn't. Sending 2 damage probably doesn't even do that much anyways, but yeah, I feel like they really, really, really wanted to block this with 4 power worth of creatures. And they didn't. Here's another one. Not sure my opponent can come out of this. Oh man, look at my perfect mana. Look at my perfect mana. Yeah. Yeah. This is a lot of plant tokens. Okay. Alright, this is cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. It's still Annihilator 4, though. I will cast that before I do anything. Finding kind of... There's a bunch of cards that are really good here. This is one of them. I will swing and then trip them up with an instant speed combat trick, i.e. removal. Assuming my opponent will very swiftly block this. Yeah, you don't want to wind up doing that. Alright, we'll do this, and then I force them to block with the other one. It's their only source of mana, so if they tap it for a combat trick, it taps itself. Yep. Now they can't use it to block. Works out for us. Alright. They can do stuff still, I guess. It's possible. Okay, that's upkeep milling. And I guess a chump block. Oh man, if I could play this... wait. Alright, so tap here, here. Let's see if we can't find something. There's a lot of things I could find. That probably finds what I'm looking for. Looks like they have another combat trick. Actually, just take this then. That's fine. And send it. Oh, shoot! Oh! Wait, no. Annihilator. Annihilator. That's how I got rid of the plant token. Never mind. I was about to say, like, how do I deal with this here? There's no way to deal with it. Sure. That is A-okay with me. Alright, 2 lands. We have all the mana in the world, opponent does not. Let us proceed with 1, 2, 3. Sure. Yeah. Fine. Getting rid of these things is probably worth it. If they were to run away with the game with them. And put them on the old clock of 3 attacks. Could have just cast this, but this is better. This lets me revel in my victory longer. Never upset with that, right? And we doubled up our gates. We actually got both gate seeks. And we just gained 17. Nice. Well, they make a plant token. They're doing it. They're doing things. Things are being done. I mean, this game is over, but... That was a cool game. I like my opponent's deck. That's pretty neat. Okay. This was very fun. I liked it. The creation of Avacyn was a little rough to cast on 3, because I was trying to be slightly heavier on green, right? But probably had too many forests. Maybe like this is slightly better. Yeah, something like that is fine, but every time this is in my starting hand, it was, you know, it really wants to be cast on turn 3. It really does. I liked the ramp. Just 2 wastes probably wound up being the best idea here. I started with, I think, either 5 or 4, but going down to 2 made a lot of sense, because into the north, cultivate, not binding, Death Sprout, all go get these, and so technically this could hit it as well. So there's a lot of ways to get these 2. And I have the repurposers, which I think are just good enough to run in this deck. I think they just make it. Not super big on this, but it probably, you know, it fills in the gaps for colorless mana, really, if I really don't have both wastes by the time I would have 8 mana. I don't think that ever happened, but if it did, these would help. And it's also a ramp spell. It's not like they don't do anything in the meantime. It didn't feel too bad to use spawns in the intermediate without, like, needing them all to pool up to cast this. It kind of felt fine to just use them immediately, or, like, the preceding turn or something. The auto-tapper does not like tapping your colorless mana, which is very annoying, so if that is something you don't like to worry about or whatever, I guess I can't recommend this, but you gotta make sure you're tapping your colorless mana first before anything else, unless, you know, you're using it to cast, like, the only spell you have, or this. So that was annoying, but I like this. I don't know if it was as good as the last deck. It seemed like just a boatload of removal is just the best thing you could be doing. Unless you're playing like one of the combos or Bogles or something, but no, I don't want to do that. So this felt fine. The Find Broker Reborn loop is... I haven't done that probably since Standard. This is so satisfying to me. It's just like, oh, Reborn, Broker, you know, they discard, they edict, you pick it back up. I just find that super fun. I don't think there was ever a game where I did a full loop of it, because the game's kind of over once you start that, you know, the snowball starts to build up. It's like they have to deal with this and everything else you're doing as well. Annihilator 2 is very devastating. It's almost universally devastating. I would prefer this to have its ability on the top instead of 4 more toughness, I think. Ulamog's Crusher, being an 8/8, is cool and all. It has to attack every turn, I think. And it doesn't have any way of keeping itself safe. This is just like only dying to edicts, and that is a pretty big deal. There wasn't a ton of removal from opponents' decks. Actually, a lot of it wound up being edicts, surprisingly, like Shielder's Edict and Tithing Blade or whatever. So those are actually ways to deal with this. But for the most part, just this having essentially hexproof is really, really, really good. Also, I believe Null, what you call it, Null Shaberber, Null Elemental Blast felt better today than it would have yesterday. Maybe that's just the time of day I'm playing or the opponents I'm having to play against, but Null Elemental Blast would have been more useful today, I think. I don't know if it would have changed any of the games I lost or changed any of the games I won, but it felt somewhat more on the table today. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't super necessary. Assemble the Team is just really good. Everything this deck is doing is just really good. I really liked it. The mana didn't feel bad. I could probably even run more gates. There were actually a couple games where I did use both gates and sought 2 cards, and that felt really good. So I could probably get away with another one, honestly. It's like a lot of tap lands. Starts to get kind of sketchy. But for the most part, it's not too bad. I mean, it would be like 11. Let's say I did this, right? It'd be 12 untapped lands, and I have no 1-drops. So turn 1 tap land, turn 2 untapped land is kind of realistic. I don't hate it, but I don't know if I need 3 of these. I really don't. And maybe just 2 was fine, but either way, I can recommend this if you like black-green and you still like to play big, stupid stuff while having some value loops and also removal. It's just a ramp deck that also plays removal, that also has a large, scary payoff that can come in turn 5 out of nowhere, and that's pretty cool. So let me know what you thought about this list. I'm going to make more for this format. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.